Chapter 12, Breaking the Fast. It is strange that the following simple truth, so obvious a truth indeed, is so difficult for many to grasp. The ideal moment to break the fast, of course, is at the time when hunger returns. As hunger returns, the tongue clears, the breath becomes sweet, and there is a clean taste in the mouth. All the indications are that the body has completed the work of cleansing itself and is ready to resume eating. There is usually watering of the mouth and a strong desire for food. Does hunger always return? The correct answer is nearly always. In terminal cases, such as advanced cancer, advanced tuberculosis, serious heart disease, and other conditions where death is merely a question of time, hunger rarely recurs. In all savable cases, and in those near normal individuals who fast, hunger never fails to put in its appearance at the right time. Indeed, it frequently recurs well in advance of the exhaustion of the body's reserves. This is particularly true following an acute disease. Within a day or two after all acute symptoms have subsided, in almost all such cases, the invalid will express a desire for food, although his body may still be amply supplied with the reserves that carry him through many more days of abstinence. With the exceptions noted, the fasting chronic sufferer can count on the same thing. Indeed, the difficulty he is likely to experience is not a failure of hunger to return, but in controlling himself and his appetite when it does. After a fast of considerable length, there is a period of several days, lasting up to 2 weeks, during which the individual feels hungry most of the time. If he will control his eating until this initial period of hunger has passed, he will settle down to a more normal appetite, and the danger of overeating will pass. Uncontrolled, he may eat so much during this period that he loses much that he gained in the fast. One important advantage of fasting in an institution is the control continues until normal eating level is stabilized. In such an institution, the health seeker's diet is carefully supervised. He is not permitted to overeat. At home, he must be more self-disciplined, a man, than the average if he is to avoid overeating. For numerous reasons, most fasts are broken before the return of hunger. In a small percentage of cases, the faster is too thin or too weak to carry on the fast to a natural termination. In many instances, there is a lack of time or funds, or there may be an unwillingness to fast so long. Some fasters, even when fasting solely for health reasons, object to getting so thin. Most of them are anxious to end the fast as soon as they are free of their annoying symptoms. Many have the idea that they can complete the recovery begun with the fast by shifting to a diet. This is a mistaken notion, but it is not easy to convince those who are attracted to the halfway notion. They usually regret their action afterward. Some go on a fast during their vacation and have but a limited time for fasting, breaking the fast, and getting ready to return to work. Others feel that they can be away from their business or their family for only a certain period of time. There are 1,000 personal reasons for ending the fast short of its natural termination. In many instances, the results of these short fasts are disappointing. In some instances, the premature breaking is the difference between complete success and partial failure. A job only half done is not done at all. Certainly, health is worth a little added effort. Missing a few more meals is a small price to pay for the results that can accrue to the individual willing to make the effort required. The animal breaks his fast on whatever food is available at the time he resumes eating. On the whole, animals seem to be better controlled than man. They are not inclined to glut themselves when they break a fast, but may take a small portion of food in doing so. A dog that has fasted for nearly a month, for example, may take but a few sips of milk at a time and may refuse all flesh for the first 4 to 6 days after he resumes eating. If man's instincts were still as reliable guides to eating as are those of the animals, I doubt that we would need to supervise the breaking of a fast. It is possible to break a fast with any food available. Either whole fruits or whole vegetables may be used. In order not to overconsume food, we have found it advisable to weigh the food for the first few days. Dr. Virginia Vitrano who has been my able associate for a number of years, has been breaking fasts on whole foods for several years and finds that in most cases it is far superior to breaking the fast on juices, as was formerly advised. She reasoned that animals in the wild have no juicers or blenders and therefore have to break their fasts naturally on whole foods. Why should man be an exception? Using her knowledge of physiology, she further reasoned that the bulk in the food is necessary to promote peristalsis and mixing contractions in the stomach and intestines. Bulk is also necessary to promote secretion of the digestive juices of the stomach and intestines. The bulk of the food touching the stomach and intestinal walls is the stimulus for muscular contractions as well as for proper digestive secretions. Because of this, solid food is digested and handled more efficiently than juices. It is held in the stomach and intestines long enough for proper digestion and absorption, whereas juices, lacking this bulk, are hurried along the digestive tract. Lacking in bulk, juices do not occasion strong peristaltic waves and do not elicit the gastrocolic reflex as strongly as solid foods. Because of these facts, when the fast is broken on juices, the first bowel movement after a fast is delayed. When solid foods are used to break the fast, bowel movements are re-established much earlier. Chewing of food is necessary both psychologically and physiologically. Another advantage of breaking the fast with solids is that the faster does not become bloated and overfilled with fluids. Taking the bulk with the food prevents overeating, and the post-faster is more satisfied with his meals. When fruit or vegetable juices are used, there is a loss of vitamins and nutriments by oxidation, no matter how carefully nor how quickly the juice is prepared. Some fasters are afraid to drink the juice rapidly and take one sip every 15 minutes. By the time they have taken 4 ounces of juice in this manner, almost 2 hours have passed with the juice oxidizing all the while. Breaking the fast with 4 ounces of whole orange, a section at a time, may be eaten with a minimum of oxidation. The fast may be broken at any time of the day or night that hunger recurs. If broken in advance of the return of hunger, it may be broken arbitrarily at 8 a.m. A number of techniques for breaking the fast have been worked out. Indeed, almost every man who conducts fasts has his own favorite plan. The main need is wholesome food, but not too much of it. Dr. Crane previously mentioned in these pages used to give a faster an orange to eat in breaking the fast. The well-known Henry Lindlar, M.D., now deceased, formerly of Chicago and Elmhurst, Illinois, who was director of the College of Natural Therapeutics in Chicago, broke fasts with a handful of popcorn. His reason for this was that the corn served as a broom to sweep out the digestive tract. In any case, the popcorn did no harm. The care exercised in breaking a fast is commonly proportioned to the length of the fast. Let me describe the plan we now employ. Assume that the fast is extended beyond 14 days. We start the faster with 4 ounces of whole orange, weighed without the peeling. Every 2 hours during the first day, feeding is resumed. We prefer to start feeding at 8 o'clock in the morning and stop at 6 in the evening. Obviously, this can be done only when the fast is broken in advance to the return of hunger. When hunger returns, the fast should be broken without regard to the time. No harm is done, however, if the faster waits until 8 a.m., should hunger reoccur at midnight or in the wee hours of the morning. On the second day, we give the faster 8 ounces of orange or any other fresh juice fruit in season, weighed without rind or peeling. Every 2 hours, a different fruit may be used for each feeding. If a faster has no desire for a feeding, he is advised to skip a feeding or two, but this rarely occurs as it does when the fast is broken on juices. There is no compulsory amount of food he must take during this period. On the third day, we give 12 ounces of whole orange or melon for breakfast, 2 or 3 oranges, or 2 or 3 tomatoes, depending on their size, for lunch, and 3 or 4 oranges for the evening meal. After the third day, it is no longer necessary to weigh the food as the body again becomes accustomed to handling food. Instead of oranges, the third day, an equivalent amount of grapefruit or other juicy fruit in season may be given. The particular food given is not so important as avoiding overfeeding the faster. These fruits should be fresh, well ripened, and well chewed. Any tendency of the feeder to hurried eating should be discouraged. On the fourth day, the faster gets a small breakfast composed of citrus fruits or 1 or 2 other fresh fruits or a melon in season. At noon, a vegetable salad without salt, oil, vinegar, lemon juice, or dressing of any kind, and 1 cooked, non-starchy vegetable. For the evening meal, I feed fruit again. This meal should be light, but may be slightly larger than the breakfast. On the fifth day, another fruit breakfast, a salad, 2 cooked green vegetables, and a baked potato or protein, small quantity, at noon, and a fruit meal again in the evening. I permit a glass of sour milk made from unpasteurized milk at this fruit meal for those who are not vegetarians. On the sixth day, the feeding is about the same as on the fifth day, except that amounts are increased. By the end of the first week, the faster should be able to take normal amounts of food. No between meal eating is permitted, and no eating in the evening before retiring is allowed. 3 meals a day, simple and composed of fresh foods, constitute the best plan for feeding following a fast. If later the individual desires to adopt a 2-meal or 1-meal plan of eating, this is best done after he has acquired some weight. Bed rest should be continued through the first week of eating and activity begun very gradually. It is common for the faster to want to become active as soon as he resumes eating. This is unwise. He is not so strong, and he does not have the endurance he thinks he has. Also, activity retards his gain in weight if he has fasted to add weight. Some fasters want to take long walks as soon as eating is resumed. Such activity is often overindulged to the extent that it often retards recuperation and causes the individual's weight to stand still. One must take it easy for a few days before resuming normal activities. If the fast has been less than 2 weeks in duration, breaking it may be done with 8 ounces of whole fruit every 2 hours the first day, then the preceding program follows from there. Less caution is required in breaking a short fast of this kind, and activity may be resumed sooner after a short fast. All of this is true, of course, in those individuals who are in a fair state of health. If there is need for added rest and for light eating for some time after breaking a short fast, the faster must be guided by the judgment of his advisor. But the most important advice for all fasters at the break fast point is this: go slowly.